Hello, good evening. This is your STV News at 6, live from Edinburgh. The director of Hearts has exclusively told STV News he believes a solution will be found to save the club. Sergei Fedotovas has arrived in Edinburgh and will hold talks with fans' representatives in the next hour. A statement from Tynecastle yesterday had warned there was a danger next week's game could be the last unless enough cash can be found to pay the taxman. Well, Gordon Cree is there for us tonight. Gordon.
Juliet, the level of concern about this is highlighted by the front page of the local newspaper, which has broken hearts and says that just months ago, thousands of Hearts fans celebrated the cup final victory. Now they are being asked to save the club. That after the very stark warning yesterday that the club may be out of business in 10 days. But when I caught up with Mr. Fedotovas today, his attitude seemed a lot more bullish. Representing the Romanov regime, this Hearts director arrived from Lithuania for meetings at Tynecastle this morning. Very serious situation at Hearts. We've seen that from your statement.
I think it's a serious situation in overall football in Scotland. So, you know, you're not helping really.
Is this likely to be the end of Hearts, do you think?
I don't believe so.
So you think a solution will be found?
Absolutely.
At the same time, at the club's training ground, the mood was less confident.
We're not allowed to speak to the media.
Are you worried at all, Gary?
I think they all should be.
Hearts have a tax bill of around £500,000 and don't have the money to pay it. The situation has arisen after the club's owner, Vladimir Romanov, ended his financial support back in February.
He has funded the club, he has saved them in the past. He's now saying, I don't have the money. We need the club to save itself, to finance itself, and that's what they're trying to do now.
Hearts right now still have a structural problem that the costs exceed the revenue. So even if they get over this immediate problem, I think they still got to cut the costs further. And by that, I mean get to the January transfer window and get rid of some more players to bring down that cost base.
Sources within Tynecastle claim there's been a good response from fans to the appeal for financial help. But among those at the club shop today, one man was getting the blame.
But just it's bitten off more than you can chew, to be honest. And you know, the number of players we have here that he's trying to pay, it's unsustainable, to be honest.
And the buck stops with him, like, you know, he's made all the decisions. He got rid of George Burley straight away. He was doing a good job at the time.
Did you think that was the start of the downfall then?
Well, that was it, basically, yeah. That was the start of it.
There's no question that with regard to the owner and with regard to what has happened at the club over the last few years, there has to be a debate and there has to be a discussion about what happens in the future. But there is no question in my mind at this moment, this is not the time to have that discussion. This is the time for Hearts supporters to do everything they can to try and save their football club.
The staff of Hearts tonight must be wondering just what news the next phone call will bring.
And Gordon, there's been some political intervention today.
Yes, two of the local MSPs, Marco Biaggi and Margot MacDonald, have called on the Revenue and Customs to give the club breathing space in order to address the financial situation. The pair have also been in contact with the First Minister, Alex Salmond, himself, of course, a Hearts fan, asking what support he can bring to bear. And after that brief encounter with Fedotovas earlier today, I'm told he will talk to us at a bit more length tomorrow. Much more to come in sport later in the programme. Juliet.
Gordon Cree, thank you very much.
Hello again. Hearts boss John McGlynn has called on everyone involved with the crisis-hit club to stand up and be counted to help them through what he describes as their hour of need. Following on from last night's statement that without financial support from fans, the game against St Mirren next Saturday could be the club's last, SPL managers and SFL chiefs have also added their support to McGlynn, his players and the cash-strapped club. Well, let's cross live to Tynecastle for the latest from our reporter Andy Chambers. Andy.
Caroline, this is by no means the first time this season this proud club has faced financial problems, but there's a real sense around Tynecastle today that this time those problems could be terminal. Now, it's just 24 hours since the club begged fans to come to the rescue and help pay this new tax bill of around £450,000. Tonight, club bosses will meet with those fans. Earlier today, manager John McGlynn issued his own rallying call.
On any normal day, the prospect of a semi-final League Cup tie against Inverness at Easter Road would fill Hearts manager and players alike with huge optimism. But today is far from a normal day.
The statement that the club has put out is telling everyone that, you know, it's not a bluff and that you know, possibly St Mirren could be the last game. So, you know, it's an alarming, critical situation that we find ourselves in, but certainly one where everyone's really got to get together and stand up and be counted and try and get the football club, you know, through this in its hour of need, really.
There's nothing getting hidden, so we know the situation we're in, and which is always better. It's not ideal, obviously, but it's not only us as players that's in it, it's the whole club. We're all in it together.
Earlier today, players and coaching staff arrived at training mostly keeping themselves to themselves, but Edgaras Jankowskis has been around long enough to know the gravity of the situation.
Everything what happens, it's concerning, so of course it's concerning.
Can you just urge the boys now to focus on the football? Do you think that's possible?
Well, that's our job, you know. What happens down there in office, well, we can't do much about that, so our job is here, the field.
The situation at Hearts follows on from Rangers' demise in the summer, and according to SFL Chief Executive David Longmuir, requires a serious addressing of the Scottish game.
We have to face that challenge, and we have to try and change the way money is distributed in the game. Fundamentally, we've got to get that element sorted out, and when we do that, hopefully we won't encounter these problems again.
Hearts' next 2 games, possibly even last 2 games, are away to Inverness and then at home to St Mirren, with both managers of their clubs keen to emphasise that the situation at Tynecastle has a bearing on all clubs in Scotland.
You're talking about last year's Scottish Cup winners. Again, they're into another major cup semi-final. So too big a club to go down.
I'm sure that they'll come through this, and you know we all hope that they do. But you know, for John McGlynn's sake and the rest of the players there, they just have to be focused on what they have to do, and that's to win football games.
Well, concentrating on winning football games is obviously going to be much easier said than done under the current situation. Fans have been milling around here at Tynecastle all day. Tonight, within the next hour, they'll get the chance to meet club directors, looking above all for clarity from the club on if and how this club can be saved. Caroline.
Andy Chambers live from Tynecastle. Thank you for now.